Have you ever felt like you're meant for something bigger? You can picture yourself becoming successful. You imagine the money, the freedom, the confidence, and the life you've always wanted. It feels so real in your mind. But the moment it's time to actually do the work, you stop. You wait. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, and nothing changes. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people have huge dreams but never turn them into reality. They aren't stupid. They aren't untalented. They simply stay trapped in the same cycle for years. And the worst part? Deep down, they know they're capable of so much more. They know they're wasting their potential, but somehow they still can't make themselves move. Most people call this laziness, but psychology says something completely different. Your brain isn't trying to make you successful, it's trying to keep you safe. And those are two very different things. Your brain has one primary job: survival. It wants to protect you from anything uncomfortable, uncertain, or painful. That's why every time you think about working on your goals, your brain immediately searches for an easier option. Instead of starting your business, it tells you to scroll for 5 minutes. Instead of studying, it tells you to watch one more video. Instead of going to the gym, it tells you to rest because you had a long day. It always chooses comfort over growth. And here's the scary part. Every time you listen to that voice, your brain rewards you with a small hit of dopamine. You feel better for a moment. The discomfort disappears. Slowly, your brain learns that avoiding hard work is rewarding. That's how procrastination becomes a habit. That's how people stay stuck for years without realizing it. Think about your average day. You wake up feeling motivated. You tell yourself, today is the day everything changes. You have a plan. You're excited. But then you unlock your phone. One notification becomes one video. One video becomes another. Suddenly, an hour has disappeared. You tell yourself you'll start after lunch. Lunch comes, but now you're tired. So you convince yourself tomorrow will be better. At night, guilt takes over. You feel disappointed. You promise yourself you'll never waste another day. But the next morning, the exact same cycle begins again. After repeating this for months or even years, you slowly start believing that maybe you'll never change. But that's not true. The real problem is that two different versions of you are fighting every single day. One version wants success. It wants discipline, freedom, confidence, and a better future. The other version wants comfort. It wants safety, easy pleasure, and instant rewards. Right now, the comfort side is winning. Not because you're weak, but because you've trained it to win. Every time you avoid discomfort, you strengthen that side of your brain. And every time you delay your dreams, you quietly teach yourself that comfort matters more than your future. That's the psychological trap almost nobody talks about. What makes this even worse is that the longer this cycle continues, the more you start believing that discipline is something you're missing. You look at successful people and think they were born different. You believe they have more motivation, more confidence, or some secret ability that you don't. But that's a lie your brain tells you. Successful people don't rely on motivation. Motivation is temporary. Some days it's high, most days it's gone. What separates successful people is that they act even when they don't feel like it. They don't wait for the perfect mood. They don't wait until they feel inspired. They build systems instead of depending on emotions. Another trap your brain creates is perfectionism. You tell yourself you need the perfect plan before you begin. You think you need more knowledge, more preparation, or more confidence. But the truth is, perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's fear wearing a mask. As long as you keep planning, you never have to risk failing. And as long as you never fail, your dream stays perfect inside your imagination. But dreams don't change lives. Action does. Think about it. Every successful person you admire started before they felt ready. Their first video wasn't perfect. Their first business wasn't perfect. Their first idea wasn't perfect. They became successful because they kept moving while everyone else kept waiting. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Failure isn't what destroys dreams. Inaction does. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable. But every time you avoid taking action, you learn nothing except how to avoid even more. That's why years pass without any real change. The biggest prison isn't failure, it's comfort. Comfort slowly steals your confidence, your ambition, and eventually your identity. You begin calling yourself lazy, even though that's not who you are. It's simply the pattern you've repeated for so long that it feels like your personality. The moment you understand this, everything changes. Because if a pattern can be learned, it can also be replaced. And that replacement starts with one simple decision. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Start before you're confident. Start before you're motivated. Start even if you're scared. Your brain will resist. It will tell you to wait one more day. Ignore it. Every time you choose action over comfort, you're teaching your brain that discomfort isn't dangerous. You're proving that growth is more important than temporary pleasure. At first, it will feel difficult. Then, it will feel normal. Eventually, it will become part of who you are. And one day, you'll look back and realize the only thing standing between you and the life you wanted was the decision to begin. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation. Your future isn't built by dreams alone. It's built by the small actions you choose today. Because every great life starts with one imperfect step, and then another, and another. The question isn't whether you're capable. You are. The real question is, are you finally ready to take that first step?